Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dual Screens podcast. I am one of your hosts, Stephen Fontana, and with me, as always, he's in that other box. He's my other half. He's my compadre, my homie, and however else you would say friend, perhaps in Greek, he's Andy Asimakis. How do you say it, Andy? Tell me. Philo. You're my philo, baby. How are you?
There's also that pastry dough thing that you used to wrap amazing treats in.
Delicious treats.
Steven, I love return guests on the show.
Me too.
Because it means like we did something right the first time where it's like, all right, that wasn't that bad.
Not really. It does that's not exactly what that means. It means that they've forgotten.
That is my understanding of it.
Well, possibly. Ladies and gentlemen,
was it?
Yeah, well, you'll find out. Trust me. Joining us this week are returning guests. We have Blake and Kaleb, developers of Happy Humble Burger Farm, a fast food horror simulator. Blake and Kaleb, welcome to the show. And Blake, welcome back to the show, my friend.
Thank you guys very much for having us back. We're excited to get your email, and we didn't scare you away the first time, so we'll try better this time.
No scaring. Well, actually, there was a little bit of fright. But it was mostly because of the video game. How are you, Kaleb?
I'm good. I appreciate the invite. I'm kind of just piggybacking on Blake here, so
that's all right. Listen, I'm piggybacking on Andy, so it's okay. It's all good. It's all good. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what the hell you just got yourself into, it's very simple. This is the Dual Screens podcast, the internet's #1 indie developer interview podcast, starring two people you've never heard of, probably. The show posts each and every week for your listening pleasure on your podcast service of choice, including our home, Podbean. And ladies and gentlemen, remember, we used to have other shows on the same feed. We no longer do. We've separated them. And how are we able to do that? Because of supporters like our Patreon supporters that went to patreon.com/NDS podcast. And we want to thank our Patreon producers, Colton the Apprentice Nestler, FNH Paul, and Vegas Girl on Fire. It is because of all of you that we were able to separate our feeds and really start just going banana. So if you want to listen to the Crossplay podcast, please go search for that in your podcast service. And if you want to listen to our brand new show all about New World, Faction Wars, a New World podcast, is up right now. And you can also find all of our podcasts on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/dualscreens.tv. Andy.
God, it's been a year, dudes.
Okay, can we talk about that now on the air? Because
we should address it.
So here's what happened. So we've been recording a lot of shows ahead of time. We've been like, for example, October, I think we recorded like 8 shows for October when we really only needed 4. We did like a bunch of horror games. I'm completely lost because some of the shows I can't be a part of because you do them during the day or whatever, while either I was at work or doing family things, whatever. Anyway, so I'm looking for today's doc and I start at the most recent episode number. And I'm like, no, wait, we recorded that show already. Okay, next number. No, we recorded that show already. Next number. And so I finally get up to episode 109, which is what this episode is. And I see Happy's Humble Burger Farm. And I'm like, that can't be right. We did that last month for Halloween. Andy is smoking the crack. And then I go back and we recorded that shit October 15th, 2020. It seems like yesterday, Andy. Literally.
Yeah.
Blake, what kind of juju magic are you doing over there?
I don't know. I guess you were so heavily anticipating the game that you blink your eyes and the time flew by, and now in less than 30 days the game's going to be released and you're going to be able to play it and see what we really cooked up in that year.
Man, that's what we're very excited to get to know here on this show, because obviously we spoke last time and there was now, I don't want to say very little, but like, obviously this was a year ago. So a lot has changed, I imagine. So Andy, why don't we throw this up to you for the ceremonial first question, the leadoff question. And then of course we're going to get the elevator pitch. So go ahead, Andy.
Well, I have more of an observation than a question.
An observation. Okay. All right.
Yes. It's 2 words to describe our guest today.
Oh,
and that is hot and juicy.
hot
and juicy. That's all I can say.
I'm the hot one.
Yeah, I'm the juicy one.
Okay, that's fair.
We're not going to
I think
argue
it
that.
implies hotness in both. Being hot and juicy, even separately, is pretty damn appealing. Like, I'm juicy. Oh, it's juicy. I like that.
All
Well,
right.
it's I appreciate your observations here, and I'm gonna go ahead and say my wife would probably agree with you, as Caleb's wife would agree with you as well. So you have the approval of
Look at that.
all the people backing you already.
Yeah.
You'll love to see it. Now
two
Caleb,
out of 2 game dev wives agreed that you're both hot juicy. So.
There you go.
Yes, it's got a little.
That's the
a
demo
little
you
extra
want.
juicy during the game development process.
Absolutely, that's the demographic you want. That's the one that matters, actually, if you really think about it. All right, so it's been a while. Maybe we have new listeners that did not listen to the first time you were on the show. So why don't we tell everybody who might be stumbling upon this their first time, what is Happy's Humble Burger Farm? Who wants to take that one?
Caleb?
It's a tough question. Happy's Humble Burger Farm is a cooking simulator that is wrapped in a horror game and features all sorts of light simulation mechanics throughout. Would probably be the best way to describe it.
Yeah, it's fucking terrifying. I remember so Andy was like, it's really short, just go in there, just mess around with it. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Cause I'm not one for horror games. I'm just not. I need to be in a group of people so that I could be embarrassed, but like it's worse to play horror games by yourself and be scared because you're only embarrassed to yourself and you're just like, well, fuck. But when there's other people, you could at least make a show of it. So I'm sitting there playing. Yeah. So I'm sitting there playing and I'm like, okay, I'm flipping a burger. Okay, we're doing a burger thing. And then, there was a noise. And okay, I'm going to go on the back here. I'm going to go to the dumpster. I'm like, I don't want to be by this dumpster. I don't want to do any of this. I don't want to throw out the trash. I don't want to do any of this. And it's just mood. The game is mood. That's the way I would describe it, because as somebody who came from the, food industry, it is a horror show.
Is that a cow pun? Mood?
Mood. I see what you did there. You're clever.
Hi.
People have described it as a fast food fever dream, and I always thought that was extremely appropriate.
I love that.
I would
love that look for you.
I would love to be like a fly on the, like I would like for a spectator like option, just to watch somebody go through it, but from any sort of camera angle we want, or like CTV cameras, like closed circuit, just being like, go to the different rooms just to see how people react playing this game, because it's absolute bananas. It really, it's just weird. It's weird in the best possible way.
Yeah, it's it starts pretty mundane. You think it's like, oh, I'm working the third shift. Everything is pretty casual, like you were describing, and then before you know it, you have, I think, literal zombies coming at you at some points. And what's funny is most fast food workers are like, yeah, I'll end an average day's job.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Definitely. So what has been going on this past year? What has ramped up? Tell us about, really give us a rundown of what's been going on since the last time we spoke.
Too much, for sure.
Yeah, I think the last one you guys played was the demo, because that's right about the time we released our alpha. And, everything was changed. We completely gutted it.
Oh.
It was like a test run to see how the mechanics were recepted, and, and sort of got some feedback on what people didn't like and did like, and we definitely listened to as much feedback as we could, and then started sculpting this grander vision of the game out. And we got that done, and then it's like, okay, well, the ideas kept snowballing, and then we just kept adding more and more and more, and it grew into this big giant beast of a game now that takes quite a long time to get through, especially if you haven't played it before. So we're really happy with the outcome, because our biggest thing is we wanted to make sure there was enough features there, enough gameplay there to keep the player immersed long enough so they feel like that it is a good game. So as much as the cooking wraps around the gameplay, it's just as much as not cooking now.
Okay. Can you get into that a little bit? Like what? Yeah. How does that change? How has that changed?
So you cook to earn money, just as everyone goes to work, earn money, and then you start little by little realizing some things are happening around you. You need to go investigate, and one thing leads to another. As you saw in the LPs and the demo we had just put out, you got a boss fight essentially, and that wasn't something we had envisioned before. When we first started, that wasn't anything that we had plans for, and it sort of just was an idea that popped in our heads, and we bantered together and made it happen, and one led to another and led to another, and now it's very, let's say, very Zelda Ocarina of Time like, with the temples and the bosses. And so you get a little bit of that.
What the hell is going on in this video game?
Yeah, I fucking love this. Keep going. Yes.
A lot has changed, man. It's been a year. It has. It sounds like you made a completely different video game in the last 12 months.
Yeah, the alpha was pumped out in what, Kaleb, a month and a half?
I would say a month and a half, 2 months. And the game, we changed it to, you have this like cyclical burger simulation going on, but then this like grandiose single player campaign kind of almost runs parallel to it. So, you use the income from your job to kind of fuel your adventure, and to aid in crafting, and it's a pretty strange mix.
What is that conversation like for you guys on the publisher side when you pitch an initial vision for a game, and then you do some alpha testing, it gets in players' hands, then you say words like, we've gutted the initial build of it. What is that like? Is that part of the package deal of a publisher? It's like, hey guys, guess what? We're going this whole different way with this thing. Cash, please, and we'll see you in a year.
You're right.
What is that like?
I got it. Go ahead, Kaleb.
From my experience with Tiny Build, right? They really, really encourage developers to kind of just do their own thing. A lot of times you conventionally, and I'm sure some publishers do, but you think they have their hands in the mix quite a bit, right. Or they're telling you what to do, but it really wasn't like that at all with Tiny Build. They basically just, really, really supported us in all of these crazy visions. And I couldn't say enough positive about them, honestly. It was just like, at every step of the way, they trusted us, even when we were like, yeah, we got it in, we're doing something different, they were like, well, what do you need? Like, how can we help you? So, that's my experience. Blake, what do you think?
You took the words right out of my mouth. It was a matter of trust. And, they didn't just, blindly go, yeah, we trust you, go for it. Like they had the builds, they saw what we were doing. And, they spoke out of experience, never spoke out of biasness. And that's the real thing you want from somebody who's working so closely with you and such a big influence with you, is, hey, this is what we noticed. Is there any way to add this? And the best part is most of the time they were right. And if they were right and within our abilities to do it, we would add it, of course. But just having the option to just be like, no, we don't want that, and we got no pushback from them, that really makes you feel like this is your project, and right. not influenced by a giant company sort of mainstreaming the game. So right. Obviously we didn't put pink unicorns flying around the city in there. We kept with the original vision. Or did we? Yeah. But we always, it was always an honest discussion, and that's the thing you need with a business partner working with a publisher, is honest conversation. Hey, we think this is the better route to go. Right. And they'll go, that we've tried that before and it seems to work. Why don't you go ahead and do that? And that's more or less the reason, we sat there until the end, and we were just pumping stuff out, ideas and stuff. And not once did they tell us no. We pushed back the deadline a tad bit from our original deadline, and they didn't tell us no. But, once now we're trying to port the game, we can't touch it unless we want it to be a different version from Xbox, PlayStation, or Switch.
Right.
Interesting.
So now we're literally, locked out of it until we take the next step until that process is done. So, but no, couldn't say anything better about our experiences. It always makes me chuckle looking at the videos and the comments. They're like, oh, tiny build, made just a scary hello neighbor or whatever. And it's like, no, actually,
or they changed the original game formula.
Yeah, they
No,
they didn't.
We did.
We did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's a big difference between a producer and a publisher, and a lot of times in video games, the publisher becomes a producer, and I think that's what gets lost on, especially the good publishers that know and trust the teams that are making the products for them. That's really cool.
Right.
It's really cool that you were able to just kind of say, hey, we're pivoting. What do you think? Did you even say like, what do you think? Is this okay? Or you were just like, this is what we're doing? Like,
well, I mean, I'll speak for Kaleb on this one, and not to toot our own horns, but we would have talks with Mr. Alex, and we tell him what we're doing, and not once did he say that he disliked our ideas. So it's really cool to get that kind of approval for someone of his caliber and someone who has the mind like he does, to see this kind of stuff and to be excited for it. He wasn't just approval of it. He was excited for it.
That's
and
awesome.
That made us, even more excited. We do have a producer as well. And he's with us. He's at our beck and call. He knows the game just as well as we do. And he's just making sure that everything on the back end, obviously we don't know anything about the porting. We've never had a game on Steam. We've never had a game on Xbox. So he's making sure that our hands are being held through this situation, sort of like, whatever you need, what can we help you with? Hey, can you get me this? Because they need this. So he's been awesome at that, and composing it rather, because we're just sitting here going, very involved, and we just don't know. So someone has to tell us, and he does a great job at that. So that's what we get out of a producer, is basically just somebody who orchestrates the thing perfectly to make sure it's to standard, and we want it to be to standard. We want it to be the best as it can be.
Doesn't that make you wonder though, like, if you're getting so much support, unwavering support on the publisher side when it comes to your vision and your ideas, does it make you think, how far can when will they say no?
We've pushed that boundary.
How can we make them say no?
Envelope. Oh yeah, no. See, Kaleb,
they've never explicitly told us no, but there's been a lot of, are you sure about that? Like, I'm teasing.
Repeat that sentence. Can you say that sentence you just pitched us again? Say it out loud. Make sure you hear it this time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, we've I'll be the first to admit, we get this idea where we're like, oh, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this, and we implement very quickly. We dedicate a lot of our time to this, and when we have an idea, we can execute it very quickly. And it got to the point where our producer's like, okay, you guys just got to stop. And we're like, okay, we know, we were just sort of waiting. It's like that. Trying to get your mom to like not see what you're doing, or not yell at you and push the envelope as far as you can. And then you knew you were messing with fire. And then you finally got that, okay, you got to stop. And,
we can probably talk about a little bit exactly what we're talking about, Blake.
Oh, yes. That's what I was going to go into at this point. Yeah.
So like, I'm not going to spoil anything, but, at one point, so through the game, you make like progression through it. I'm trying to be vague.
You progress through a game?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Character.
At one point, you go linearly through a sequence of events. All right, very good.
Right? But but at some point, that progression was to actually end up at like a zoo. and I think
Okay.
the theme park.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay.
And poor Blake. I mean,
I'm left to model entire zoos, entire theme parks, a resort, and it was generally going to be the test subject you are in the game, was moved to these other jobs, not just a restaurant job. And
no.
so I got the zoo. I put what 60, 70 hours into this zoo model, and we brought it up, and we talked about it. And we talked to about our first producer, and everybody was like, little too much there, guys. And we're like, okay. And then again, we, towards the end of the development, towards our first deadline, we were like, okay, I had worked on this one scene for a while, and just in the background, and Kaleb and John, and they're like, let's use it. We want to use it. So we figured out a way to use it in the end of the game, and it's pretty much the second to last level technically. And so we brought it up to our producer, you're scared shitless because game's supposed to be on the table done in a week, and we're thinking of a whole new section of game to add. And so at first we're like, hey, so we might need an extension. We want to do this. And he's like, oh no. So then we showed him the map, and he's like, granted. He's like, it's done. So we pushed for that, and got it in there just, by the skin of our teeth. But at that point he was like, okay, get this in here, but you guys are done. So we're like, okay, fair. We're good with it. Yep. So, but no, that's a good thing to have more ideas than not.
Yeah.
That's what they want to see. They don't want to see you go, oh, here's a polished alpha that was 3 days of cooking, and then, the sewer sequence with Happy in our original alpha. They want to see expansion. They want to see ideas and different ways to immerse the player. And that's hopefully what we gave them.
Yeah, it's you have to have somebody. I mean, every team faces feature creep, no matter what. You have to have someone there, preferably a third party that has no attachment to the game to tell you when enough is enough. And not being attached to the game is so important, because our workflow is it's a weird one. It's very collaborative. Nobody really has the final say in anything, but obviously we specialize in different departments. But a lot of our ideas are just mutually just generated amongst each other. And it's hard to be like, my idea is too much, let's drop it, because it's like, no, your idea is too much.
That's a really cool relationship to have, though, to be able to work together like that and really build upon something. Because it sounds like you were sort of, for lack of a better term, kind of improvising where this thing is going to go. And it seemed like you constantly improvised the right way. Because if you didn't, you obviously would have been shot down for some of these things. But being shown here, this is what we want to do. I don't know about that. And then you see it and you're like, yes, absolutely do that. That's pretty fucking cool. That's a testament to you guys, right?
Well,
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I think it kind of comes back to the whole indie mindset of things,
Okay.
When you don't have suits breathing down your neck, and it's really more dependent, and I'm not talking about myself specifically, but any indie dev team, it's your skills really have to show through and carry things through. So you kind of get a little bit more creative freedom, just naturally, I guess you would say.
And being good at estimating how long it'll take us to do something also helps too, because we've had a lot of experience with a lot of other people, a lot of other developers, a lot of other publishers, as far as not publishers themselves, but people who have worked with publishers and the publisher mindset, where a lot of people take a lot of time to do something. It's they stretch it out or what have you, or they're unfortunately just slower workers. But when we sit here and we're like, we want to implement this, we want it done, and we're going to get it done in 2 days, making that promise sort of puts anybody at ease, instead of going, okay, having them think of, okay, something of this scale might take someone else 2 weeks, where we come at it with, okay, this will take us 2 or 3 days to implement. It sort of lets us have a little bit more ability to add things and continue adding things while staying within the allotted time limit.
Right.
How do you guys know that what you're making is scary? What's the test for you
Ooh,
guys? Because it's,
that's a
you know,
good question.
from people who know what horror looks like, how it should feel, how it should flow, that's different than actually being able to scare someone. How do you craft an effective horror sequence in a game like this?
So, I mean, that's probably a two-part answer, right? Because, my interpretation of how to implement horror from a programming perspective is extremely different than Blake's, because Blake has to rely on, like, what type of environments scare people, what things cause unease, what colors, I mean, so much plays into it. But, answering for myself, I struggled with that for a long time, because at first I tried to quantify what makes somebody scared, basically, right? So, like, if you had to take fear and try to plug it into numbers and variables, like, how do you do that? Do you measure the speed of someone's movement? Do you measure how many times they turn around? Do you measure, how many times they stop? So I worked on that for a long time. And ultimately, the answer that we kind of figured out and set rules upon ourselves is that, which Blake's probably going to roll his eyes, but horror shouldn't be scripted, I guess, would be a good way to put it. Like, you, from a programming perspective, you have to design things to where they have a degree of, like, fuzziness or unpredictability.
Okay.
And for me, I kind of know I nail that when my own systems scare me. When I'm testing something at 2 a.m. and boom, it jump scares me. And I know what it is. I knew it was coming, and it still gets me because I'm not quite sure when it's going to get me. I mean, that's pretty much it for me. What about you, Blake?
I mean, it must have been a long time ago we had the talk, but when it comes to answering that question you have, that's a question we've asked ourselves internally and built off of that. You have to sit there and narrow down what exactly scares people. You have to sit down and narrow what video games use to scare people, and you sort of get yourself a pool, and you get yourself the options you have to work with, and then you sort of try to manipulate those objects. And what I mean is, like Kaleb said, there's one in the game, and it's funny because during our showcase for Halloween and Tiny Build Showcase, we had a loopable video playing. And when I'm cooking in the restaurant, it's super small. Unless you full screen it, you won't see it, but all three of our faces are on there. And you'll see me actually jump. I get legit scared during the cooking process. And the funny thing is I have the most hours on this game out of all of us. I am the dedicated bug finder tester. I'll take the hit and I'll play it. I've got probably 2,000 plus hours into this game.
Wow. Okay.
And I still miss stuff. I'm not perfect, but it helps Kaleb be able to effectively go in and fix what he needs. But aside from that, I still get scared, and I still get scared at these things. It's because the scare I'm talking about is a jump scare.
Right.
And you would think from a game design perspective in a game like, we'll say, Visage, you're in a house, you're in a small confined space, and you walk into the hallway. So it doesn't matter if you play it, Andy plays it, whoever plays it, the second they walk into that hall space, the same thing's going to happen. And that being a scripted scare, we try to veer away from those because we don't want people to go, oh, there's a scare there. I'm going to be prepared for it if they watch LPs or playthroughs or whatever it is. But we still use the same philosophy of the jump scare, for the restaurant, and how we are able to do that was we made the player focus. And the best thing to do for us to see is a person playing the game, and they're focused on the restaurant, and they're Twitch streaming, and they're trying to keep up with their Twitch stream and respond to their chat. And you see them, and they literally tell their chat, hold on, I gotta focus. And they lose all persona, they lose all of their on camera persona, and they just try to focus on not messing up the game. That right there is the perfect time to scare them.
Yeah.
If you get focused enough on the game and what you're doing, and you throw something in there that takes over the screen or makes a loud noise or something like that, that's what's going to initiate the jump scare, but it's not going to be a scripted jump scare.
Right. So many people get so into the cooking that they're literally walking by like horrific monsters and they don't even notice them.
Mm-hmm.
But then their Twitch, their chat will notice it.
Oh.
And that creeps the Twitch chat out because they're like, how did you not notice that? Like, am I seeing what is going on here?
The
Get yourself an
restaurant gets
interactive
really
horror
tough.
experience.
Exactly. So, and that's the cool thing is we love randomization. We love not seeing the same game played over and over again. So you'll see little things. You'll see again monsters coming through there, things moving, stuff disappearing, sounds. So it's a bunch of different things all together that will make you scared. Again, horror is achieved not by us but by the user. If you don't want to be immersed in a horror game, you're not going to get scared. If you didn't tell me this was a horror game and you told me it was an FPS shooter, and I went in there playing it, I probably wouldn't get too scared because I'd end up trying to whip through it like an FPS. But if you tell people it's a horror game, they sort of flip their mindset and go in there wanting to be scared, wanting to be immersed. And that's unfortunately why we wanted to release in October, because all the horror junkies come out. They want something that's going to scare them. And, we didn't hit that. So we hope that people are still looking to get scared at the beginning of December.
I think horror is good all year round.
Yeah, I was just going to say, man, that genre it doesn't matter when this stuff comes out. It like people are junkies for it, just no matter what. It's about getting the people who don't like it. They are more likely to play in October. Like, oh, I'm doing all scary games throughout all October. Like, yeah, you're like,
right.
You missed maybe that window, but like, there are people that really love this shit. Andy's one of them. Like, just love to be scared. And then there's the flip side of like, I want to be scared for other people's entertainment. It's not necessarily because I enjoy horror. It's just like, I know people love seeing me terrified. So I'll go into it like, here we go. I'm putting on the fucking clown shoes and the wig and the nose, and you get to laugh at my misfortune, and let's do the thing.
Well, it's the haunted house mentality, right? I mean, who goes to a haunted house alone? You know what I mean? It's like, if you do, it's like, maybe people should stay away from you. Like, really? Like, there's no one here with you? But no, I totally get it. It's like, you want to be scared with people.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fun.
There's such a bizarre nature though to the world too that you guys built there. I mean, and again, I'm going based off of my memories of playing the thing that you destroyed. So please feel free to cut me off if I'm speaking out of turn on this stuff. But like,
It's still a PS1 kind of game, right?
Yeah.
So we're all clear.
Yeah, we're still using
Yep.
Yeah, whatever. What was that? 32-bit? I don't even know what that was. 64-bit, 128-bit. I don't remember. But the bizarre nature of the world that you've created, like everything. Like, I remember just the actual food crafting was also off-putting. Like, everything about it just felt kind of just off. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go over here. I don't want to look at that. That's gross. That, but it wasn't like, I'm not scared. I'm just kind of like put off. And so like, when you get lulled into that mentality of like trying to peek around the corner, see what's going to be around here, and listening for all the sounds to see if anything's like creeping up on you. You did a good job of like creating that. Like, you obviously, I assume you carried that into your new-ish version of the game. but changing locales. How did you guys take that same mindset, that same tone that you had in your first demo, the alpha, to now the finished product?
So I'll be the first to say, like, I mean, this question's mostly for Blake and John, but John, Blake crafts the environments and stuff, but a lot of the, I guess you would say, universe design, world building type stuff, which it really plays a huge role
Right.
in all of it, is John. John is the one who basically created the Scythe Saga universe, and he comes up with these ideas and has like mapped out, like, this is what this area should look like. This is the biome. This is the temperature at this time of year, and keep in mind, Scythe is basically like, his own universe in a way, and we've all contributed to it, like, quite a bit, including me. But, Blake, like, how do you do it?
I mean, specifically the question you're asking about the cooking. We wanted to make it mundane, just as working at a restaurant at 2:00 in the morning is, and that feeling when you complete an order, it gives you a sense of euphoria where you want to continue doing it. You feel good. You got them the right order and they're happy with their order. But yeah, like Kaleb said, when it comes down to it, John's the one who throws these wicked ideas at us, Kaleb mostly, and he goes, "Oh, what if the patties go bad? What if what if this happens? What if that happens?" And so we sit there and we pick through what's possible to do with the existing systems, and we implement it. I'm responsible for making the food elements, the visuals, but as far as the idea goes, John will come up with, hey, what if instead of this we do this, and Kaleb would be like, okay, we can do that, and then he'll be like, can we get this model? How fast can you give me this model? And I'll get it to him, and it just sort of snowballs from there into these grandiose ideas where, without spoiling too much, the rotten patties that were in the restaurant become used throughout the game now, in different ways. So it's one thing that leads to another. So basically, we try to set up that mundane cooking mechanics in the restaurant that will also help you proceed through the game. It will get it. You will leave and beat the game alive.
Yeah, I kind of like this John guy. It sounds like he's like on the couch, legs in the air, with like a bucket of beef jerky. Like, what if we did this, guys?
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh fuck, how do I make this idea work now?
No, see, the problem is John still has the ability, even though he does know technically what to do and how it works and all that stuff, he still has that ability to think of ideas that aren't restricted upon, Unity's abilities or my abilities to model or stuff like that. Right. And then when we like an idea as much as we do, we find a way to make it work. So he has that creative mind where he can spitball these ideas and we'll be able to cherry pick from them and what we can do and what we can't do. But it's like whenever you play a game or a game you've made or a game you've played a lot, and then you have to hop on there and play it like it's your first time. That's damn near impossible.
Right.
And he has that ability, and as far as contributions go, idea wise, I'll be honest with you, I'm at the bottom of the food chain with that one, because I'm too technical. I'm way too technical. If I spit this idea, how am I going to make this happen? How is this going to work? And more than not, I'll wake up and Kaleb and John will have a whole new idea implemented, and I'll wake up to a list of models that I need to make.
Mm.
And that day, that night, I'll get them the models and we'll put it in, and it's like it just blows your mind at how much of a difference it makes. So Kaleb and John have a lot of the creative aspect on the mechanics and the vision through the game, and I'm the one who simply just tries to take everyone's vision, add my own spin to it, and pump it out.
John is also a genius composer as well.
Mhm.
So every game we've ever made, every release, right? So like I think that's upwards of 10 now.
It's 10, yes.
Every sound, every song you've ever heard in him, it's all John. He does it all.
Mhm.
That's incredible.
For Happy's Humble, he wrote 14 albums just for the jukebox in the game.
What?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Holy shit!
Wow.
So yeah, he pumps it out, and I'm telling you, more often than not, you go to any one of our LPs, any of the comments that are on any video, and you'll see, love the music. The music's amazing. I love the music. And it's like, okay, well, feeling a little lonely over here. And so is Kaleb, because Kaleb only gets told that, hey, there's a bug. And
Yeah.
I never hear, oh my God, that chair model's really cool.
These burgers aren't scary enough.
Yeah. So we're like, oh, okay. Well, there's push to
Volumetric
the side
fog
then.
when?
Yeah.
Andy.
So, no.
VSync, ever heard of it?
Yeah. Where ray tracing is.
Yeah.
Andy, let's get a final question in here. Little
Oh,
final
God.
discussion before we get into our rapid fire section.
Oh, what's next, dudes? What's after this? Once
Ooh.
this baby's been birthed to the world,
Sequel.
is it just like chill out mode or sequel, huh?
Yeah. We want a
Angry's
sequel.
Humble Burger Farm.
Right.
You've been happy.
I mean, we're not specifically
Humble.
asking if what the game is you're making, but like, is
Right, right.
is it, you're going to go down
Is
the
there
horror
something
train?
cooking in the
Yeah. Do you
back
have
of
any
your
ideas
mind?
for a genre you want to do, a type, like a gameplay type? Are we going to have Happy's Humble Burger Farm, the tactics? Like, what are we talking about here?
Cinematic universe, as it were?
Well, we would.
No.
You're right. We would love to do a sequel.
Yeah.
That's one of the things where, unfortunately, it's not up to us, entirely. We're on board for a sequel. We'd love to start right now, but there are some roadblocks in the way in time permitting. So we have to wait that out a little bit. We never sit still though, so our brains are always going. We're always thinking of something to do. We'll never, I don't think, ever venture out of the horror.
Yeah, you're not going to get just like
genre.
a dating sim from us or something like that out of the blue.
Right. So it'll always be horror, but we don't have any necessarily things that are like work in progress or anything like that. We toy around all the time and blank Unity scenes. I'm always in Blender. Caleb's always trying to come up with new mechanics, and nothing set in stone, but hopefully we are able to do a sequel and we can go with that. But if not, it's ride the Happies train as long as we can, hope everybody enjoys it, and move on to something else, depending on the success of Happies.
Well, we're looking forward to it. And as our listeners are listening to it, you can play it right now. So just go play it, do the thing. Let us know. Let us know what you think. And we'll have a review, of course, on dualscreens.com. Probably by the time you're listening to this. We'll see. Maybe. All right, now it's time to get into rapid fire. This is where we get to know you. Now, Blake, you've done one of these before, but now it's going to be a little different. Because now we're going to be putting you up against each other and also collaboratively.
Okay.
So it's PvP PvE here type questioning.
Before we start this, I want to amend my previous answer to one question.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So
This is a first.
yes, I'm amending the best burger.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Whataburger.
Okay.
Wow. A lot's happened in a year.
Yes,
A
it
lot
has
happened. Yeah.
I'm a newfound love for Whataburger over In and
Wow.
Out. So
Okay.
I'm amending my answer.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll start there, Kaleb. What is best burger?
Yeah.
Geez. I'm gonna say Burger King.
I mean, the flame broiled action is
You like
When
that
they're
flame
fresh.
broiled?
Yeah. When they're
It's-
fresh, it's great.
nothing beats
Yeah,
like a
that
Whopper.
Whopper. You can't get enough.
Yeah. Like 2 Whopper Juniors, like a little bit of fries is like the perfect meal.
That new BK King they got though.
Ooh.
The Bacon King. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Feel
that'll
my
get
heart-
you.
My heart is stopping. as
That'll
we
get. I
speak.
had the Baconator yesterday, and let me tell you, Wendy's knows what they're doing with
Ooh.
those burgers, man. They get it. They understand grease and how to implement it properly.
The blood pressure cuff for this
They
conversation.
do. I have
Hell
one.
yeah.
It's right here. Here's my cuff, Andy. It's just in case.
There it is.
Just in case something's going on
Oh,
here.
where's my insulin?
Andy, it is your turn. Let's get your question.
Ooh, I like doing the whole PvP thing. So,
Yeah.
Kaleb,
Mm.
if you were casting Blake in a horror movie, what category would he fall into? Is he more of like the final girl kind of character? Is he the killer? Is he the comical friend that dies in Act 3? Or the dude that like looks for the cat and dies in the first 10 minutes of the movie? What
No, I would
resonates
honestly
most?
say I would say the killer, honestly. I don't know if you know this about Blake, but Blake stands at like 6'2".
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Got some height
So
on
Blake,
you.
One
he's
large
scary.
man,
He's scary. I don't argue with him.
fueled by Whataburger and insanity.
Right. Well, Caleb, if I was the killer, I wouldn't kill you, my friend.
Aw.
Well,
Oh.
Blake, well, how would you cast Kaleb?
Caleb
cat
would
guy?
be Caleb would be the logical one. He's the one who's always like, "Hey guys, that's a creepy house. Let's not go in there."
Yeah.
And then when they go in there, he's like, "Okay, I'll wait out here safely and not go in that creepy house." And then when everybody gets caught, he's the technical one to figure out how to get them out without alerting the killer and me, and
Right.
I know what it
getting them all to safety. But I would say that Caleb would take a bullet for anybody he's saving. So
Whoops.
I don't know what movie you're writing, but
I see. Yeah, Kaleb is the surprise return. Like you think he died in Act 1,
Right.
Right.
and then he comes back in the end to save
He's got the
day.
running car. He's got the car
Right.
running.
Yeah.
exactly, he's
the
the
final girl.
technical one for
Yeah.
sure. He uses his brains more than his
Mm.
brute.
Got it.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I am pretty brutish. Let's just
Yeah,
put it on record.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna go back to food here. Okay.
I like food.
Cereal eating contest, a breakfast cereal eating contest. Which one of you wins?
Me.
Oh,
If it comes to food, man, I crushed
me.
your ass with those pizzas. I went over to Caleb's house to talk. What, 4 months ago? No, it was a while ago. It was at your old house.
yeah.
We both got pizzas from Domino's,
Mm.
and he's slowly putting pieces in my pizza.
Oh,
What?
Yeah, you're trying to pawn off that
wow.
that pizza you had onto my plate.
Blake's
Wow.
lying. If anything, I was like, here, bro, try this. Let me introduce you to proper food.
You have to
Interesting.
understand
Proper
something.
food.
Domino's now has pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. They don't just sell cardboard anymore.
It's like the most oxymoronic sentence. We got pizzas from Domino's. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute. No.
Notice they don't call themselves Domino's Pizza anymore.
Mm.
They
They
call
don't.
themselves just Domino's now. There's a reason for that.
Yes.
As two New Yorkers are talking to you
Mm,
about
yes.
pizza.
Oh, jeez. Now I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're stuck with Domino's and Pizza Hut while you guys got the good stuff.
Yeah. Well, come on here for a change. We'll treat you.
Yeah, we'll
No,
treat
but
you
seriously,
to
I'm-
good
the
pizza.
shops, it's like
Um,
it's like you guys got the corner shops where they're just like named like
Yeah.
literally just pizza.
Yeah,
Right.
It's like Joe's, Geno's, Tony's.
And you know it's good.
Yeah.
Marie's.
As long as it ends with or starts with an
vowel.
Italian name.
It's yeah.
It's
As long as
good.
the name ends in a vowel, you're good to go.
But no, seriously, Caleb, I'm thinking we're gonna need to try this out here soon.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pixar didn't happen.
There will be pictures.
There will be a TikTok or two.
We're gonna have to do it.
Yep.
So,
Andy, what you got?
Well, we're sticking to food.
Okay.
I think these two can handle this question. Would you rather eat a dick flavored cake or a cake flavored dick?
Oh, okay.
I'll let Kaleb answer first. Kaleb.
Is that going to inform your
let
answer?
me think about this. Dick flavored cake.
I mean-
cake flavored dick. I mean, okay, right? So we would assume that the first one, the person would be sanitary, right? So it'd just be like,
it just tastes like a dick.
The cake just tastes like,
A dick.
Okay, so I saw a TikTok.
Okay. Okay.
I'm the
I love
TikTok connoisseur.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
There was a TikTok that I watched, and it said that it tastes like avocado. Me
Interesting.
personally, I wouldn't know. But I
think
I
it
like
does.
avocados, so I'm gonna have to go with the dick flavored cake because I ain't putting my head anywhere
That's fair.
in
That's
that
fair.
area.
Listen,
Yeah.
not that there's anything wrong with that. Not that there's anything, but you know what? It's not for everyone. It's not for
yeah.
everyone.
I can tell you that it doesn't taste like avocado that much, but
That much,
yeah.
but it's there.
Though I understand the comparison.
We are veering hard off this highway.
Yeah, that's that.
We are
it's
barreling.
logical thinking here. It's
Right.
technical thinking.
You're trying to
Like, look
take
at-
the
Yes.
I get you.
I like how Blake's mind works. He's like, all right, if I'm gonna, I know what that tastes like
Yeah.
Yeah.
to some extent.
I
So
just
think-
wanted to know how dickish the cake tastes, honestly. Like, that's what I was trying to figure out.
That's something to think about.
Mhm.
Kaleb, you didn't answer though.
Same answer.
I
as
think
you.
his silence
Okay.
speaks
Yeah.
volumes.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'd go for the cake because I know how to eat that. So
Right.
it would be
Right.
less messy. I get it over with quick, and that's it. I'm good.
Yeah, it's a slice.
I love
It's
it.
like this was a terrible cake. I'm
Yeah.
not a fan of this cake, but you know what? Happy birthday to you.
Yeah. Right.
Dick Prince. Okay. Let's get as far away from that as possible. All right. Which one of you is, because I'm assuming it's one of you, and I have a feeling I know who it is. Who is the early bird? Who is the
Blake.
night owl?
Yeah.
The early bird.
Yeah. I'm up at 7:30 this morning. Like, hey guys, what are we doing today? And Caleb's always like at 10 o'clock at night, right when I'm going to bed. He's like, okay, I'm gonna
I'm
need
like a 10
everybody to
o'clock
do
one.
this.
That kind of
Yeah.
works though, because then Blake, you go to sleep, you go into your slumber, and you wake up and you have a nice little list of shit that you need to do. And right when Caleb is about to like really, when the Adderall and the ADHD medication kicks in, he's like, I'm ready to go. You're like, here's all the shit I did yesterday. And you're like,
Yep.
cool, I could put this in the game now.
Yep.
That
On
is
the
pretty
real,
much how it works.
it helps a lot dealing with people in various time zones
Mm-hmm.
where no matter what, one of us is always awake and around.
Yeah.
So it does work good. I'm up usually about 4:35 in the morning on a weekday. And
Oh, God, why?
Kaleb will be up till 1-2 o'clock in the morning. So there's only usually a 2-hour window where any team we're working with or anybody that's in a different time zone won't have access to it. So yeah.
Go ahead, Andy.
All right. This is a 2-part question.
Oh my.
Okay. Part the first. It's a familiar
Part
take
the
on
first.
it's a new take on a familiar question.
Okay.
So the cops are calling one of you
Oh.
because the other committed a crime. Who is getting the phone call and who committed the crime?
Mm.
That is a tough one.
Oh, I like that. It's
Which
tough.
one of you is a fucking criminal?
Yeah.
I want to know. Who's
Caleb
got
and
the
I
skeletons in their
Try to
closet?
keep our nose clean.
I think Blake on his 7:30 walks when he's burying the corpses. So he's up so early.
We're good boys. We don't do
We
this
are.
to them.
Yeah, well,
No.
who's more likely to be like,
He's been arrested.
right?
Come bail him out.
I think Caleb's getting the call from me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and say
All
that
right.
one.
So the cops have called Kaleb. Kaleb, what crime did Blake commit?
Oh, geez. It would be something ridiculous.
Hmm.
it'd have to be something ridiculous. So I would lean more towards like something unexplainable, like we found your friend nude causing a ruckus in a public space.
Oh no.
He was putting pants in all the gargoyles outside the tall building.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'd go with. Sorry,
Sounds
Blake.
about right. No, I was waiting for your answer, but
He was
you
holding
know me
20
pretty well.
pigeons.
Yeah. Yeah, that
running
sounds
down
about
the-
right.
Running down the highway.
All right, here's another question, and then Andy will ask the final question.
Oh boy.
All right, here we go. You are both recruited to the X-Men. However, you're in the X-Men Rejects class.
Oh boy.
Blake, what is Caleb's power? And Kaleb, what is Blake's power?
We're in the reject.
You're the reject
got, like,
X-Men. You are literally you're like, if
You got
there's 2
shitty-ass
missions
powers.
going on, you are still at the mansion. Like, you are not. You're at the school. Like, you're adults. You're grown. You're not
No one's
students
asking you for
anymore.
help.
But you are not on the team. Like, but
Blake's power would be Blake would have the power to just talk really loudly.
but like not
not
loud
yell.
enough to disrupt like somebody's eardrums, but loud enough to be an inconvenience.
Oh, it's like when you're wearing
Just a
headphones.
minor inconvenience. Like,
Yeah,
why is
and
that guy
there's, like-
talking so loud?
Right.
Is that really what you think here?
Just loud
There's
enough.
always a song playing in Blake's head. He's like trying to talk over it in regular conversation.
Oh, like those videos where they're listening to the lyrics, or that one TikTok guy who sings songs out in public with his headphones in.
Yes.
Oh, that guy freaking makes me laugh so
Oh
hard.
my god. Yeah, that's you. I see
Yeah,
it.
there you are. That's your power.
See, I got Caleb's. Caleb would have the ability to sprout hair from anywhere in his body as much as he wants.
There you go. All right.
He'd be looking like Lurch from the Addams Family. If
But
you
it's
watched
at, but it's
it.
at will. So that's
Yes, at will.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
His cousin It.
So, and yeah, and me, I'm screaming at Caleb, you know, with my power to get through all of his hair so he can hear me. Still
Aw,
best friends.
you work together. That's nice.
Yep.
Okay, now
You need a
bonus
pair
question.
of scissors.
Bonus question. What about John?
Oh,
Ooh.
I like. 'cause
I
he
think
might
John, I
defend
got
himself.
this one. We're gonna both answer it, Caleb. So your answer has to be different. I think John would have the ability to tell when something or someone is speaking or playing out of tune.
Mm.
Okay.
Yep. If they're
Yeah.
off beat, out of tune,
I
that's
love
John's. That's John's superpower.
This is pitch perfect.
Yep.
Let's go, bub. No, it's actually
Yep.
let's go, bub. You're a half octave a little lower than.
He's
Inflection.
yeah, he's keeping me pitch perfect with my loud voice, and Caleb's just sitting there with looking like a mop.
Kaleb, what do you think John's reject X-Men power is?
Let me think. His would be. Oh, geez. I don't know. Blaze was so good.
All right, we can stick with it. That's good. We can stick
Okay.
with it. You could agree. Now, bonus question.
Oh my god.
What's mine and what's
bonuses.
Andy's?
Oh dear lord. I think I have the hair one as it is.
No, I definitely
Yeah.
have that. Look
Yeah.
at this. Look at my shoulders. My God, it's terrible.
I'll take. Let's see here.
I can't. I can't see you guys now. I'm on my Zoom app and it like closed out.
I would say Andy's is the ability to grow a Cheeto from his finger.
Oh
Wow.
wow, you
Generating Cheetos from his finger.
Wow.
that is cool.
I
Yeah.
love that.
I would be
I
your
love,
best
I love
friend.
that look for me. Yeah.
But am I eating you though, or is it a true
Right.
Cheeto?
It's a whole Cheeto.
But is it like it's a Cheeto? Like it's not
Right.
gonna be like I'm eating you.
No, you're eating a Cheeto that just
Yeah.
it's like, you know, in the garden you plant like a tomato plant.
Yeah.
You eat tomatoes. Like my
Yeah.
fingers are the earth. and
Okay.
it sprouts Cheetos.
Okay.
That's how I
Okay.
envision
Still doesn't help my visual and my
it.
stomach
It doesn't. Nope.
from being a
not at
little
all.
nauseous, but okay. So you literally always have Cheeto fingers.
Yes, always Cheeto fingers.
Interesting.
Dogs love me.
Wow.
And I'm gonna say you just because of the shirt you're wearing, you have the ability to never lose a game of Among Us.
Okay. You're wrong. I lose all the time. I actually, as a matter of fact, I no longer play that game on stream because everyone just votes me off no matter what.
Yeah.
They just
Oh my
they
God.
don't. They're just like it was Bat, and everyone's like, okay, boop.
Yeah.
And that's why I made this shirt, Bat Sus. And I have another one that says Yeet Bat.
There you go.
So
That's your
that was a fun
superpower.
summer. So okay, I'm the best Among Us player ever.
Mhm.
I like it.
Uh-huh.
I like it. All right, Andy, hit us up with the final question.
Oh, I'm trying to think how Blake answered this last time, but he's still gonna get to answer this time because it's a fresh episode. You know, things have changed in a year.
Yes,
So
my
we don't
taste
know.
buds.
So we don't exactly. So we don't know. Do you like Cheetos? All right. My question is,
Yes.
and you can both answer independently or as a team. It's up to you. It's a simple question, yet the most complex question.
It is.
Any context you choose to frame the question is entirely up to both of you.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, Andy or Steven?
Mm-hmm.
Dang, I remember. I was listening to this. I remember this question being asked. I was like,
I love
I-
it's so good.
think I said Andy last time, so I'll go with Steven this time.
Fair enough.
I appreciate the consolation prize.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Probably
I'm gonna
because
go
you
with-
couldn't see me last time. That's what I'm guessing.
You couldn't see me either. I was in bed.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You were in bed. That's
I'm
right.
going with Andy.
All
Okay.
right. Okay,
You sound like you're going with Andy for a reason, though. Not just because you
Because,
don't want to pick me because Blake picked me.
The better
Pity.
option.
Because technically now Andy would win 2-1. Are you sure it's Andy? Just
No,
saying.
I'm pretty
'cause-
sure it's Andy.
I don't-
Let's not belabor the point, Steven.
uh-huh.
I do like the meat boy though.
It's always the fucking meat boy.
You know that meat boy. Some guy tried to buy it for like $500, did not sell it. Best choice of my life.
Man, I got a lot of Batman pops. They're up there though. I don't know.
Batman. Who likes Batman?
I'll tell you who. The person named Batchild. That's who.
Uh-huh.
By the way, follow me
And
on
that's
TikTok, Batchild TikTok, at
Yeah, there
Batchild
you go.
TikTok. I had a good one today. I did a good one today. I'm gonna be
Follow
famous
me at-
soon. Don't worry.
Follow me at Cheeto Fingers.
Yeah.
This is me on the armchair on the lazy boy eating Cheetos.
Speaking of following, don't forget
watching shitty horror
to
movies.
follow us on social media. We're at dual_screens. I am at Batchild27. Andy is at Pants Guy. And seriously, you can follow me on TikTok at Batchild TikTok if you want. Our Facebook group is facebook.com/groups/DS podcasts. Gentlemen, where could everybody follow you guys and the game and all that other fun stuff?
We
Blake,
have
you did it last time. You go for it.
Yeah,
Okay.
hit it up.
we have
It's passing
our
the buck.
Discord. The best way to get a hold of us, ask questions, participate in our community. It's Happy's Humble Burger Farm Discord. And our Twitter is Twitter/Happy's Humble Burger Farm. Hit us up there, follow us, give us a like. We keep, posting. We try to post at least once a day with new content. Try to keep it spicy, keep everyone interested. The game comes out December 3rd for Xbox, PlayStation 4, and the PC on Steam, with the early 2022 release on Nintendo Switch. So pre-orders are on Xbox One right now, the marketplace, for 10% off for $17.99. Retail will be $19.99. Pick them up now. If you're airing this, December 3rd. So now go
Go get it.
fast.
Do the
Buy it.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Your Twitter is twitter.com/Happy's Humble.
It's Happy's Humble. Okay.
Happy's Humble. Just
Thank you very
You might
much.
want to write that one down. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just that might just be me.
I'm pretty sure if you Google Happy's Humble Burger
There's
Farm,
nothing else will
Yeah.
pop up. You're
Come
good. You're fine. Thank you very much for being here, gentlemen. It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you, Andy, as always. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, viewers. Don't forget to tell your friends about the show. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to our channels, leave a review if you can, leave comments in the comment section, all that fun stuff. And as always, and most importantly, please be excellent to each other.